Hello, I'm back. This is the 60th actually prediction video by me. Uh, well, this weekend we got three fights that are interesting. Well, two of them, and we are for sure that I want to talk about. Yeah, but first I shall talk about this one a little less interesting fight that we have. Yeah, on Saturday. It's Julian Williams against Nataniel Gallimore. Julian Williams, this is a super welterweight fight, and yeah, Julian Williams he has lost to Jamal Charlo only before, and he was knocked out in 5 rounds. Yeah, but since then he's beaten Ishe Smith, for instance, by decision. Yeah, he hasn't really fought that many. Well, Freddy Hernandez, he also stopped him in 3 rounds, but Hernandez was already kind of faded, I guess. Yeah. Well, anyway, it was a good victory, I assume, rather good. And he had a no contest against Hugo Centeno Jr. and he beat Joaquim Alcine. Joaquim Darshawn Johnson. Yeah. He is a decent fighter for sure, just not perhaps elite level. This guy. J. Rock Williams is 5'11", a tall super welterweight, and so is his opponent. He's of the same height, Nataniel Gallimore, but he doesn't seem to have the same kind of credentials. Perhaps he's a very good puncher, it seems, or a good puncher. This guy. Gallimore. Yeah, so I think Williams is the favorite here. The favorite, of course. He is also can punch, and I haven't seen that much of him, but he also can box. So obviously, since he beat Ishe Smith by decision. Well, nobody beat Smith by anything else but decision. Anyway, Smith is, despite being past his prime, he is still a good or very clever technician. So I think Williams will win, perhaps on well. This guy Gallimore has never been stopped, so I don't know how good his chin is. So it's best to bet on a points victory for Williams. There is a chance, of course, of an upset. Even Gallimore, since he seems to be a really hard hit puncher. He has a puncher's chance, of course. A puncher's chance. Yeah. Okay, then there is the other. The first really interesting fight. It's a rematch from the fight that we had in December. Caleb Truax, who is now the IBF super middleweight champion, is fighting against James DeGale, the former IBF champion. Yeah, that victory was a surprise, I guess, wasn't it? DeGale had been, a rather good champion, and he's one of the few that fought Badu Jack and didn't lose to him. I mean, also, who was the other? Periban, yeah, and Derek Edwards beat him, but it was, well, anyway. Truax has always been kind of, he's certainly a good fighter. He's a good boxer, has good fundamentals and all that. He's got some power too, decent power, decent puncher. But it was a surprise to me when he lost in one round to Anthony Durrell. I didn't see that coming because he was stopped in 12 rounds by Danny Jacobs, So, yeah, and before that, he's also lost to Jermaine Taylor, that's all. And Truax is a young guy, really, for a boxer. He's 34, but he's got experience, and he's just a rather, patient, technically solid guy that can also, stop you if you get reckless, like he stopped Donovan George, for instance, who was, back then considered a good, strong prospect. So, yeah, he's got a good jab and a good right hand, of course. So, but DeGale, I don't know what's wrong with him. I think some people have said that he just doesn't have it anymore. Yeah, in the last 2 years, or sorry, in the last year and a half, well, a little more, anyway, year and 8 months, he's only had 3 fights, that's not so much. And, DeGale, he's a guy that he's a kind of a dark horse, he can go life and death against someone that's not really elite, perhaps, and one night, and then stop someone that is rather, a better fighter anyway, on another night. So you never know with him. He kind of blows hot and cold, and he's definitely a good hitter, puncher, and I think these guys have about equal power, So I think this is gonna be. But the first fight was on DeGale's, ground, and this one is in Las Vegas, so it's Truax that's going to be the more favored one, I guess. Yeah. So it's gonna be tough for DeGale, I mean, it may be that this last fight was just some kind of, that DeGale was just caught on a bad night, but it may also happen that this is just the beginning of the downfall for him, that he may lose even worse in this fight. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, I wouldn't really bet my money on him winning, this. I think Truax will win this most likely by decision, because DeGale has never been stopped, before, and he just doesn't look like a guy that can be. He has been down before, against Badu Jack, for instance. And yeah, so this is gonna be close, I think, but I think Truax will get the decision, most likely another majority or something like that decision. Yes, and then the big fight of this weekend. Erislandy Lara is fighting against Jarrett Hurd. This is a big title unification fight, and you know, I'm glad to see that Hurd is finally fighting again. You know, his last fight was well, sorry, that wasn't that long ago. But anyway, I'm glad that he is fighting a guy, you know, like Lara. He needs that, because if he keeps fighting guys that are not, you know, top level, elite level, that's not good for him, because he's beaten Tony Harrison. He stopped Tony Harrison and he stopped Austin Trout. So that's a sign that this guy, you know, he's ready for something bigger. So, but this is of course going to be a major challenge for her, because even though he is the much taller guy, he's 6'1", and Lara is 5'9" only. But and he's also got he's the harder puncher also here. Even though Lara can perhaps punch some, but he's not a devastating, I guess, knockout puncher. Not usually. He's got 14, I believe. Yeah, Lara's got 14 KOs in 25 victories, and Hurd has 15 KOs in 21 victories. Yeah, Lara of course has the experience on his and the age on his side, I guess, if you can call it. Well, before 35, it is an advantage, I guess. Yeah, you know, I can see this fight going like this. Of course, Hurd is going to utilize his reach and height advantage, and just, you know, look to shut out Lara, you know, just kind of throw jab and throw power shots and try to knock him out, or, you know, beat him into submission. But Lara is of course a very good defensive boxer, and it will not be an easy task for her. So yeah, I mean, this is not hard. I mean, this is not easy to predict. Yeah, I'm thinking really, you know, well, let's see. Take a look at Lara's record. He's never the last tall guy he has fought is Vanes Martirosyan, and well, he's a little bit shorter than her, but anyway, he's taller than Lara. So, and he beat Martirosyan by a rather close decision. It was you know, he won definitely, but also Martirosyan had one blow, had 1 point taken for a low blow, you know, and so other than that, well, I don't think except for Paul Williams, of course, who beat him more or less, even though it was a controversial decision. Except for him, I don't think. Yeah, well, also Ronald Hearns, but he's not so good. He didn't really fight yet anybody who is really tall and, you know, so good as Hurd. So this may well be a turning point for Lara in his career, because I think even though he does have a chance to win, it will take a lot for him, I think, to win this fight. And you know, I can see it going to him by a close decision or something. but at the same time, Hurd has many advantages. I just see this being a close fight, but Hurd may well do the same thing that he did to Harrison and Trout. Trout is also a clever fighter, perhaps not as clever as Lara, but not much worse anyway. And he couldn't stay away from Hurd's punches, so I'm not sure if Lara can. So I think I favor Hurd actually to win. Yeah. But whether it will be by a late stoppage or decision, I'm not sure. Either way, it can go either way. Yeah, I don't think the judges will favor Lara either because he's not a Mexican. So he always has to really earn his title every time he defends it. So he's been a champion now since he beat Smith Ishe in 2014 December. So it's 3 years. Yeah, one of the longest, I think, title reigns of a Cuban boxer. So anyway, this can, as I said, I think Hurd wins either by a late stoppage or, a decision. Lara has never been stopped before, but he has been down twice against Angulo, for instance. And if Angulo could do it, so Hurd can do it even better, I guess. We'll see. Well, that was it for now. I hope you had some sort of, in some sort of use of this. So, thanks for watching. Bye bye.